Monsterland, keep your mind under your bed. Monsterland.
Welcome to Monster Men.
Yeah. It's been so long.
Hello, Hunter.
Hello, Jackie.
So,
It's been a long freaking time.
it's been a while. Been a busy February for both of us.
We have been busy little beepers.
So, March is going to come in like a lion and
Go out like a ferret.
like a wildebeest. Like a thing.
Like except thing. Oh, as you can tell, we're not in the studio today.
No, we just, we got to bang out a show. So here we are.
We're gonna bang.
So the big reason we're doing this, we both saw Get Out.
Get out!
Which, I remember when the trailer came out for this, just because Jordan Peele had done it, I was like, oh my God.
See, you were like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Jordan Peele." I was like, "That can't be a horror." I honestly thought it was like I thought it was going to be a bait and switch when I first saw the Comedy Attractions.
So, I guess let's try and keep it non-spoilery, and then if we decide to go into spoilers, we'll...
So we'll talk about the first 5 minutes. And then we'll
First 5 minutes, and then maybe we'll So, first of all, I loved it.
I did too.
One of the most fun in-theater experiences, I don't know about you, but the crowd was so into it. It reminded me of the old days in the Avon Theater where people were yelling at the screen and cheering and talking to people. And
Yeah. I didn't have that because I saw it at a Tuesday matinee. So there were 10 of us in the theater. But there were certain sections where the dude in front of us would go, hands up, silent. Because we were in an Alamo where you can't talk.
yeah,
But he was like, the hands were up, so he was getting all excited.
it was hilarious, some of the stuff that was going on.
It was designed to be.
Then, my initial reaction to this movie was I think one of the reasons I liked it so much was the reason I like Marvel movies is Marvel makes movies that are funny but aren't comedies.
Right.
And this movie was funny, but it's not a comedy.
You know what? I thought it would be funnier because I just thought that there'd be more oh my god, more characters that had like a funny edge to them. But really there's one character that brings that.
Yeah,
But-
he
and
breaks the
he's
tension
awesome.
perfectly.
Yeah, he's awesome. I wanted to see more of him.
Totally. Oh my god! But it was the perfect as a horror author. You know this, that tension breaking factor,
Yeah.
and this movie easily could have just been one of a million dumb horror movies with crazy premises that was not pulled off, and instead they had a stellar cast,
Yep.
top-notch writing, tight writing,
Yeah.
and just the right amount of tension and levity.
And a couple of real good, well played jump scares in it too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the direction. I thought he, as a director, he did a really good job.
Absolutely.
I mean, there were some scenes I was like, when I walked out of it, I said, "All right, so that was 3 movies mashed into one cool ball. It was Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, naturally, Rosemary's Baby, and The Stepford Wives." To me, I was like, he definitely was influenced by those 3 movies and just melded them perfectly.
Would you call it a horror movie?
You know what? I wouldn't call it a horror movie until you got to like the end. Like the last 10 minutes, I was like, oh, all right. Because it gets so out there. But it's a
Thriller?
tense thriller, I would think. Yeah. Or suspense. Maybe suspense.
Suspense. It keeps you guessing the whole time, and what you think is happening isn't what's happening.
Right. It built up the tension. Like, there's no real comedy in that for the first hour, almost. It's ratcheting up a little. It's like turning the screw a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then they brought in his friend, who the TSA agent,
He was great.
the TSF&A agent.
The other thing,
tips.
without really getting into any kind of spoilers, but so Allison Williams is the white girl bringing home her black boyfriend to her family, and there's got to be as two white guys. There's a million times in your life where you have somebody of some other ethnicity, whether it's your family or your social circle of all white people, where you think everything is fine, and then once you're in the situation, you realize some of the stuff that your family is saying that you never really noticed. You're like, whoa, whoa. Like,
right on.
And Bradley Whitford is so great as the father. Saying this stuff like, yeah, right on.
Oh my God.
I'd vote for Obama again.
There were a couple of things when he was talking even off screen and it was potted low on the audio. And I was like, oh my God, he didn't just say that. They were like throwaway lines that you weren't really, because there was something else going on, but he was saying them kind of in the background just to give you a chill of like, oh, what a jerk. It was funny because I've had the reverse situation in my dating years where I dated a beautiful black girl who she said, oh, don't worry, my parents don't care that you're white. And then she brought me home and the father threw my ass out the moment I walked in the door. At least there it was overt. I didn't have any kind of like, oh, this is kind of awkward. It was just straight up, all right, you don't want me here. I'm going to walk out here and listen to you yell at your daughter for the next half hour. So I kind of had it on the reverse side, but I prefer what I had because I was told to get out and I went out and it was over.
Yes. So yeah, it was the racial, I don't know the right word, overtones or subtext to it made the movie that much more layered, interesting.
Yeah.
But they don't. It's not heavy-handed at all.
No, I don't think. I think some generation. It depends on your generation. Somebody might think it's a little heavy-handed or unnecessary. Like I saw with my kids, they're so colorblind. I think they were walking out of there like, what was the issue? Like they don't see any issue whatsoever with people of two different races being together, and they don't understand the concept of why this would be a thing to other people. Whereas I'm sure someone in like our parents' generation would be like,
And meanwhile, I don't know about you, but for me, right after we finished the marathon of Horrortober and the rush to get all the movies for the last year done, then I switch gears and go into sort of jamming on all the Academy Award nominated movies and stuff. And there were so many racial oriented things, whether it was documentaries, short documentaries, long documentaries, or actual films that dealt with real issues. There's a documentary on Netflix called 13th.
Right. Oh yeah, I heard about that.
There's
Is it
one
good?
called I Am. Yeah. Oh, it's great. You really should see it. There's one called I Am Not Your Negro. Another documentary, very, very good. You've got Moonlight. You've got Fences. A lot of all kinds of stuff. So, as people our age, some of this stuff happened, or even Hidden Figures.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Hidden Figures is a perfect example. That stuff happened in like either right before we were born or when we were babies.
Right.
And you're like, holy crap! In basically our lifetime, there were people that couldn't use the same water fountain.
Yeah, it's crazy,
So
right?
to your kids who are like, whatever, that's great, but there's still a lot of crap.
Yeah,
That needs
you know
to be
what?
fixed.
It just amazes me that we're still, as a country, fixated on this crap. It just blows my mind. I'm like, how long will it take till both sides of the coin cut the crap and just get on? And if you ever see the movie Bulworth with Warren Beatty?
Did.
He's a politician who's kind of gone off the deep end, and he'll say whatever. He's kind of like Trump, and he goes and he has a speech, and he's talking about the race problems in America, and his solution is that everybody should just F everybody, and you keep doing that, and within 3 generations there is no race whatsoever. There's just one big mess of people that are all just a little bit of everything. And honestly, that's probably the way it should go.
It's kind of the way it's going anyway.
But if you have that, you wouldn't have Get Out. So
Right.
you wouldn't have that tension of, a guy from a different color, a different culture, And where was this movie set? This looked like some Atlanta plantation or something.
Well, they were like in New York City, so I assumed it was like Connecticut or upstate.
Oh, right, because that guy was abducted from Brooklyn in the beginning.
Yeah, so I figured it was supposed to be either Westchester or. Well, I don't know how far they went because they were at a
It
lake.
seemed like the genteel South, didn't it?
Yeah, because you had like the guy with the hat,
They can't just be black people. They have to look like something out of some friggin' Tom Sawyer movie. It was really weird.
Think about some of the cast. That cast was so great. You had Stephen Root,
Oh,
Bradley Whitford. I can't remember her name. The one
Catherine
from,
Keener.
yeah, Last American.
She was so good.
40-Year-Old Virgin.
It's been a long time.
She
since
was
that.
great.
Yeah.
Allison Williams, which is Brian Williams' daughter.
She is?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. She was good.
yeah.
I love the effect that I like because Catherine Keener is a psychiatrist who does hypnotherapy. You know something's going to go wrong there. But the whole idea of just stirring the spoon in the teacup is what leads you into hypnosis, and then is used as a trigger afterwards. I thought that was ingenious.
And have you ever seen like mentalists, and they do little things like they'll tap you when they say a certain word, or they do
Right.
things like that, and you
Yeah.
you don't even realize they're programming you.
Yeah,
There's a
and-
guy, Darren Brown. If you're out there watching this, look up Darren Brown. If you ever want to debunk like the
Yeah, I remember
cold
that.
readers, he's the one, and all that. He's amazing. He's the one to read there. But like, so yeah, there's something to that whole stirring.
when she was first doing it, it's happening, but you're not really seeing much of it, and it's the way he used audio in this movie was really
Yes.
superb, and it's just low enough where it took me a while. I'm going, she's still stirring that tea. And I'm going, oh, wait a second. It's always it's the same cadence and the same sound. And I was like, oh, so that's what's pulling him under. And then it comes back later, which I thought that was like my favorite part, stirring a teacup.
And then once you sort of know what's going on, it in a less well handled or well done movie, this would have been a ridiculously stupid movie.
Yes.
And in the hands of good people, this is a thoroughly entertaining. And it's kind of like when Steven Spielberg said, if they're with me for the whole movie, then when I blow up the shark, nobody's going to care.
Right.
You know, how ridiculous that is. So,
Yeah, we can't give the end away, but I will say that what he does is, because when the crap hits the fan, and you've got your guy, your hero, he doesn't act like your average white guy in the same situation, or your final girl. There's a definitiveness
yes.
to him, which was awesome. A breath of fresh air in a movie like this.
Good stuff. And then, so the one other person I want to comment on, the kid who he was Banshee in X-Men First Class. I think he might have been in The Last Exorcist. He's the brother in this.
The
Creepy
swirliest, scummiest looking human ever.
mustache.
It looks like he just blew some guy, and that's pubic hair stuck on his
Even
lip.
in X-Men, when he's just a weird way of talking.
He's disgusting.
Yeah.
He's the grossest, maybe one of the grossest human beings I've ever seen, and I can't imagine him not being disgusting
And
anymore.
perfectly cast.
He was. Well, that's the thing, and that's the cool thing about the movie. Oh, my seat just collapsed. You know right away something's wrong, and you get these vibes right away. There's no like, oh, little mystery. It's just the cool part is how he builds that suspense up, and then the payoff. And the payoff was worth it.
Okay, so we both give it thumbs up or whatever, claws up. Let's take a couple of minutes here at the end. And
I give it a black thumb and a white thumb up.
I give it a black and white cookie. Look to the cookie!
Let's talk about a movie that's not in the theater, at least.
Probably not,
I don't
but
think so.
All right, so we're going to talk about Split. M. Night
Split.
Shyamalan Ding Dong.
M. Night Shyamalan.
And I'm going to say this. Did you like it?
I did like it.
I liked it a lot.
I took the kids, and we had a lovely day.
That said, if you're watching this and you haven't seen it, we recommend this movie Go see it. M. Night is back, baby.
Yeah, he's 2 in a row.
I think it's more fun if for this movie we do a spoiler talk.
Yeah. I would, though, we can tell people that this is an M. Night Shyamalan movie without a big twist. There's no twist.
There's a tiny twist at the end.
It's like a little tiny nipple twist that you're like on, ooh. But it's not like
it's
the typical.
It's not a heavy-handed, I'm M. Night. But
I didn't see that coming.
Very enjoyable movie. Great performance. So the girl from The Witch is in it?
She's phenomenal.
She's phenomenal.
And
the dude, Professor
Morgan.
X guy?
Yep. From the X-Men younger class movies.
Yeah.
What the hell they were.
We really do our homework on these, right?
Yeah, we do. And you know what? For some reason, his name, I always think it's James Marsden, and I know it's not.
Oh, it is James
McAvoy.
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy, who makes this movie.
Yes.
Without him, I don't know if this is the same movie. And Betty Buckley from 8 is Enough. His psychiatrist, that's the mom from 8 is Enough.
OMG.
Because when I saw her name in the opening credits, I'm going, first of all, Betty Buckley's alive? And then when I saw her face, I was like, oh, my God, that's Mom.
All right, now I'm going to go back and do a Where Are They Now, the cast of 8 is Enough. There was one of the daughters I really thought was hot.
I love that show. I wonder if Little Nicholas was one of the personalities.
Willie Ames was.
Charles!
Zapped.
Oh my God. Great movie.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, let's go into spoiler talk. So if you haven't seen Split, you should Split. Because this movie, now that we're in spoiler territory, if you're hearing tough dats, baby.
Days.
So I like this movie here, right?
Right.
Go Charlie Day.
Then, could he have been here?
Then the thing happens at the end, and it goes to here. You can't even see my hand.
Wait, the very last thing?
The very last thing.
So the tiny nipple twist is what put it up there.
So,
okay.
Now that we're in spoiler talk, this movie, without you knowing, is a freaking sequel to Unbreakable.
Correct. Or like a Marvel Universe thing where it's
in the same universe.
Another superhero.
And the brilliance of this on so many levels, as I see it, are... A, if they had told you it was a sequel or in the same universe, you would have sat there like, prove it, whatever, and all skeptical.
Right.
Instead, some of the stuff that happens in the movie that you're like, that seems a little out of unrealistic or whatever, suddenly totally makes sense in a world where Bruce Willis has superpowers.
Right. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that, but you're absolutely right, because the last third goes in a completely off the rails direction where he becomes, basically it's this concept of his split personalities. Each personality can have different physical attributes. So one personality can have diabetes and one personality could have high blood pressure or whatever, which is actually documented. That's a real thing. But in his case, his 24th personality is he call it the Beast?
The Beast.
The Beast. So the Beast is actually like a monster. So it has thicker skin and you can't even shoot through the skin. And
it can climb the wall and stuff.
Scale ceilings and walls, and he changes color and everything. So I didn't think about that. But yeah, you see that part and you're like, where did that come from? But then when you see Bruce Willis at the counter at the very end, you're right. It does make total sense then.
So that just makes I'm like, that was a pretty good movie. Oh, it's Unbreakable. Now this movie's tremendous.
The only problem is that when I saw it, the lights going on like almost immediately, and I looked at my kids and I said, "That's Bruce Willis. That's Unbreakable," and nobody around me knew what that movie was. It's been so long.
Some of the podcasts I heard, people are like, I heard the music from Unbreakable coming in. I'm like, oh my God, is this? I'm like, how the hell do you know the music from Unbreakable?
Yeah, really? Jesus. They're big fans.
The other thing I loved about it was not only has he figured out how to create like the most brilliant sequel or like world building, the fact that he didn't tip that off and they didn't play it up made it so much more enjoyable. He
Yeah.
also showed you how to make a villain movie. So if you were like, oh, the Marvel universe or the DC universe, they want to make a movie about the Joker or this or that, like, you're like, how do you do that? How do you make the villain? This was a villain origin story
Yeah.
that was entertaining enough without a traditional. So you had the girl from The Witch, who's a compelling heroine.
Yep.
That's great. But the fact that Bruce Willis had nothing to do with this guy's origin,
Right.
you had a different protagonist who may or may not play into the next movie. But,
See, yeah, and what works with him is he's the protagonist and the antagonist.
Mhm.
Because there is a decent guy, and not all the personalities are bad. There's just three bad personalities. Two bad, one kind of works for them, and then there's the beast. They don't really get into a lot of the other ones,
yeah.
but it was fascinating, and I thought she was just so good. First of all, the difference in her between the witch and this, because she's 20 years old now. She looks like a full
She's
woman.
gorgeous. Like, well, it's like, whoa.
Even my daughter was like, she goes, I want to look like her. She goes, she's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. I mean, she's unique looking.
She looks a lot like Kendall Jenner
Yes.
in the face.
Yeah.
Because
But
when I
with a
first saw the
body.
commercial for that, I was like, is that Kendall Jenner? And I was like, oh, it's the girl from The Witch.
Yeah.
She's
Morgan,
great.
I got to see Morgan because she's in more.
Oh,
she's
I never saw Morgan.
Yeah.
You know, when all these Academy Awards and things came out, I was like, I can't believe The Witch didn't get nominated for anything.
It's too weird. It's too far out there. And it's a horror movie, so it's automatically it's dumped on, no matter
Yeah.
what. If Rosemary's Baby came out now, it would go straight to Netflix and people would crap all over it.
Yeah.
You know? But I thought, look, this is The Visit now, and we've had Split, so we've had two successes in a row. So I hope to God he's on the right path.
So they've been showing M. Night movies. So I got home, and then I saw Signs one night, and I saw Unbreakable.
I love Signs.
God, if you watch Signs, you start to see his skill as a filmmaker. Because some people love that movie, some people don't. I love it. One thing you can't knock is his deliberate camera movements, his pacing,
Yep.
keeps you engaged.
He knows how to make a movie.
Yeah, like even
The
the
guy's
movies
a
you don't
good
like by
director.
him, you're still interested in the filming of it.
I think what throws people off sometimes with him is just his writing, because he often writes his movies, and sometimes either he's going for something too big or something too vague. That Lady in the Water, ay, ay, ay. The Village was okay.
The Village was uneven. It had some really good stuff, and then it just kind of left you like,
The Happening, holy Jesus. So
I never even saw Devil.
Devil was good. He didn't direct it though. I think he produced it. Devil was good because it's people trapped in an elevator, including the woman who plays Doug Heffernan's mom on King of Queens,
Oh, nice.
who turns out I think she's the devil.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, there we go. Look, that movie was out 10 years ago. If you haven't seen it, too bad.
So anyway, yeah, so an enjoyable movie without the twist, then the twist just elevates it. So I go back, when I first saw Unbreakable, I was not crazy about it. It was like the second or third time I saw it that I was like, all right, I guess I was just expecting something different.
Right. If Unbreakable came out now, it'd be a huge success because everyone is obsessed. That came out before superhero movies were the thing.
But the thing is, you didn't really realize you were watching a superhero movie.
No, because they didn't promote it that way. Like, you didn't go in thinking that.
And it's paced so slow.
Right.
Here's another thing. When you go back and watch it now, you just
Right.
see how freaking pretty Robin Wright is.
Really?
Oh, she's just... I mean, she was a Princess Bride. I mean, if you watch Hearts of Cards now, she's still a beautiful woman.
I used to love her in the soap opera Santa Barbara
Oh, nice.
in the 80s. I watched that every day.
She's just like... When you watch her, you're just like, wow. She really was... something.
Sean Penn dried her up.
Yeah. So
So you give this a thumbs up?
I give it a big old thumbs up. And again, like I said, if you never saw Unbreakable, it doesn't matter because it's a good movie.
I think this is an amazing start to the year.
Yes.
that you've had. We're just at the beginning of March. We already have 2 movies that are guaranteed to be in our top 10 list.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed. So that's all I can ask for.
All right, that feels like a show.
It does. Let me just twist my nipples now.
That's the
I need
twist.
a big twist.
That's the twist at the end of our show.
All right, man.
All right,
this was fantastic.
See you next time on
Monster Men. Split.